Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Lunar Podcast. So, in my previous video, I've introduced this new series in which I will be covering topics, areas, and subjects of interest, all revolving around the book of Revelations. Now, that is presented as a general idea. Right. There is the official, book of Revelations, the last book in the New Testament. But I also want to approach it from a general perspective. Right. Any book can be a book of Revelations. So in this episode within the series, the Revelation series, I want to establish the three categories of books, right? Three types, three genres of books that are revelatory, right? And this is going to be a foundational theme going forward. So the general idea is to establish three general categories. Category 1, Category 2, and Category number 3. Now, that's a very sort of dry and boring set of terms, but, we have to start with something that is very simple, and then we can get more and more creative. So, three categories of books of Revelations. Category 1, 2, and 3. Category 1 is the books of the higher worlds, the books that that are religious, that are spiritual, that are, from another world, that are describing another reality, right? And this is the kind of experience that you get when you read something like, for example, from the New Testament, right? Or from the canon of Buddhist philosophy, right? These books revealed a deeper world, a deeper reality, right? So we're going to call that category number 1, right? Now, that is usually the kind of books that we become interested in later on in our life, right? After we have matured, right? After we have had the experiences of this world, and then we begin to realize that there is something more, that there is something beyond that we have neglected. And that's when we become interested in that first category of books, which we can call the holy books, right? Now, we go to category number 3, right? So we're going to skip category 2 for now, and we're going to go straight to 3. So category number 3 are the books of this world. Now, these are the books that people find interest in. These are the books that teach us how to have a better experience within this world. Some examples are books on, let's say, business or psychology, books that give us, basic concepts, basic ideas on how to, make friends and influence people, how to establish a business, how to start an online business, things of this world, which are of interest to people that want to, cultivate an online business, right? Or develop, a personal brand or a personal business, right? Now, so this is category number 3, right? Now, the people that find that kind of genre of literature interesting are actually very few, because not a lot of people read. The majority of people are just kind of like wandering the world, never stepping foot into Barnes and Nobles, right? But the few that do step into, the books of knowledge, they find something that sparks their interest. So maybe, they are compelled to start a business, which is essentially what most people do research on and for, is to establish their business and how they're going to impact a particular market, right? Now, that's good, right? That's good that you are passionate about a particular field. Now, the problem is that if they are not connected, if this third category of books is not connected to the first category of books, what happens is that it becomes severed from the foundations of reality. And what are the consequences of neglecting the foundations of reality? Well, the consequences are obvious. We get the world that we live in right now, a world that is in constant conflict. It is in constant battle, psychologically, physically, and there's a lot of confusion. There's wars. There's economic division. And the systems that are developed are, they cater to for those who are already rich and powerful, right? The rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. And that is the consequences because, the people that do come into contact with the books of knowledge, they abuse the knowledge. They use it to control and manipulate and create these different groups that are trying to take each other, right? Companies, brands are constantly competitors, right? And that's the world that we get. That's the result of the third category of books that are disconnected from the first category, right? Now, for people who think short term, for people who think just about themselves and maybe their close group, they're like, well, we're succeeding, we are thriving, the rest of the world is going to have to figure it out, right? But that's not how we as human beings function, right? We are all meant to work together to establish a network, a psychological, an intellectual, an emotional network between all human beings, all races, and all nations. But since we have not been properly educated in the foundations of how that works, that's the result that we get in the world, right? So we get a very fragmented society, right? So that is the consequences of only studying the books of knowledge that makes us more powerful, that gives us the power to influence and control, a market, but we're contributing to the larger problem, which is of a world that feels divided and disconnected. So that is the third category of books. So I call that the books of this world. So now we've described the first category, the holy books, the third category, the books of this world, and now we're going to cover the second category, the books that bridge the higher worlds and the lower worlds, right? As above, so below, on earth as it is on heaven. So these are the books that we typically find on Barnes and Nobles that are like the spiritual books. A good example are the books written within the tradition of Buddhism. There's plenty of what they call Dharma books that introduce Buddhist practices, Buddhist meditations that are grounded in a tradition, a long, 1,000-year tradition, and the books themselves are written so that they become applicable and that we can use in this world. Right. So, for example, conscious leadership, right, for people who have an established business that they are thriving, but they also want to operate that business at a deeper, more profound level. There are those genres that fall under the genre of conscious leadership, right? So these are the second category of books, the books that bridge the higher worlds with this world, as above, so below, on earth as it is on heaven. So these are the typical books that you find in any New Age store, in the spiritual sections at Barnes and Nobles, that bridge the two worlds. And they are, for the most part, introductory books. Sometimes they have titles like, 7 steps or 12 steps, or how to, change your life in 30 days, 30 days to a new life. Very basic, very general, but nevertheless, the idea, the idea behind these categories of books is to draw people into this kind of world, into the world, into the spiritual world, where they tap into the books of the higher world, and they connect that to the knowledge of this world, right? And that is the first step in really the next phase of human evolution, is to get people interested in that second category of books, which unite both worlds. Now, the problem that we have is that not a lot of people read, right? The majority of people that you see or you encounter on the street really are not readers. They, they're just, walking through life, going around in circles, not really having a passion or a goal, right? So that's the state that we're in, right? So the mission of authors, the young authors, is to rewrite these really profound books, and rewrite them, remix them in a way that will be of interest to the people of their area, the people of their local region. So this second category of books are the ones that bridge the higher worlds to the ways of this world, on earth as it is on heaven, as above, so below. So in conclusion, the aim of this episode of the Lunar Podcast is to establish these three kinds of books of revelatory knowledge, right? Three categories of books that reveal knowledge that is of interest to us. In summary, the third category of books are the ones that some people will find interest, because they are the ones that talk about psychology and finance, and how business operate, things that we can use to manifest an independent business, either in real life or on the internet, right? Which is growing. So that's the if people become interested in reading, the third category of books are the ones that are going to be of interest. But nevertheless, there is a deeper world, there's a deeper reality, which the first category of books, the holy books, are aimed to do, which is to bring people into those higher worlds, into the foundations of reality. And the second category of books is the bridge between the higher worlds and this world. So these are the three categories of books that are of revelatory knowledge